Question. How do we call? He gave us a signal.
What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It is your boy Trey of the Bat Channel. We are live once again for a quick show in the Bat Cave, talking about something crazy that happened today. But as always, before we begin, I had to bring in the best co-hosts I could ever ask for.
What's up, everybody? How we doing tonight?
My man, it's an interesting night. It's what some people would call a bourbon night.
Maybe a little bit, but maybe not. We'll have.
You
to
have an
find
interesting
out, I
take
guess.
on it, yeah.
But the biggest thing is we're doing. Obviously, you saw that we jumped right into it. There's a lot of streams going on tonight, but a super important one tonight over on Now Necron's channel. He's interviewing Mikey Sutton for
Dreamwalker
stuff.
Live action series.
We're gonna make this a quick, fun one. That's why we dived right into it all.
Yeah, doing a quick show. Just came over from watching Sil Abdul's podcast show, and that was a crazy bomb towards the end about the Flash changes. It's one of those scenes where, like, once again, this was like one of those moments and reactions I had where I was like, really, Sil? Like, really? Who would do that? Like, who thought that was a good idea? And then somehow it will end up being right. And it's one of those moments where I don't doubt Sil anymore anytime he has these types of scoops and
Batnips.
What's up?
Batnips.
That's all I can say is Batnips. Yeah, you know, when you think about it, you know, here's a little hint of what Mr. Sil Abdul on his show just a moment ago. He gave us a little taste of what's to come in the near future.
7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
Not what I was hoping for. But Corey, who's all in the chat tonight?
Man, we got everybody here tonight. We got Baby Girl in the house, Bat Fanatic, Oracle's Clock Tower, Bat Dan is at band practice, but we'll catch us later. Beyond the Night, Sox Bulletins, Red Hooded Outlaw, hashtag Restore the Snyderverse guys, Zod Riders in the house.
What is
the Good Austin, and the Good Austin reminding that El Necron show is at 9:00 Eastern. So coming up here very shortly. Jose Diaz, Eric Patterson. I think I got just about everybody. Right. So good stuff, Trey.
Great. And I see Sin Havoc is here as well.
Yeah, popped in.
Great to see everyone here, guys. As always, it helps us out so much when you smash that like, you share this video, you subscribe if you haven't already, get all of your friends into the chat because we want to hear from you guys. So we need your help to help grow our channel. So smash that like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you want to follow us on one of our social media pages like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at _Bat Channel. It's a great way to reach out to us. Tell us what's going on in your life, or maybe there's something we didn't catch in the news and you want us to talk about it. We'd love to hear from you. DMing us is a great way to do that. Or if you're still on Facebook, do at the Holy Bat Channel. Sorry, at Holy Bat Channel, not at the Holy Bat Channel. The has been a big word lately. We'll talk about it. But yes, follow us at one of our social media pages. And then, as always, you can support us through Super Chat. And we have the little fun clips that you just saw recently that we'd like to say thank you. Some big things coming up. But Corey, are you ready to just kind of get into it? Because we don't want
to hop
to
into this.
Yeah, we don't want to waste time, and I want to jump over to see El Necron show, the man at the cool table, the rock star with the man Mikey's son, who they're going to be talking about some Dreamwalker, and you know I love me some Dreamwalker, so let's get into it. Twitter today, we all know James Gunn is very vocal, likes to respond to people. Sometimes transparency is good, but he's one of those people where I feel like maybe less is more.
Idiot, gosh.
Oh my gosh, freaking idiot. So anyway, someone, he posted a Swamp Thing. Obviously, everyone's very excited about Swamp Thing being a part of the chapter 1 of his DCU universe, Gods and Monsters. And honestly, I'm excited for Swamp Thing too, because I personally liked the DC Universe show that they had for one season.
Not Slate One worthy.
Yes, I know, not Slate One worthy, and you're right, but still. But James Gunn decided to respond to someone who, first off, come on, brother, you should have, Corey, go ahead and pull up the slide real quick.
Boom.
Get the hashtag right first. Uncle Fahad, I think, said hashtag sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. Anyone who's watching this show right now, remember it's hashtag sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. Don't split up the two hashtags that we have, hashtag sell SnyderVerse to Netflix or hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix. But hey, I'm not gonna, it was an honest mistake. It happens. I get it. It flows when you say sell the Snyderverse, just like I did a moment ago. James Gunn took a moment here to respond, and he said, I have to say, this has got to be the wackiest hashtag ever since. 1, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. And 2, Zack hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing. And yes, we too have talked. And of course, someone wanted to know what they talked about. And he said, he contacted me to express his support about my choices. He's a great guy. Again, he seems really happy with the massive world building he's doing now with Rebel Moon and Army of the Dead, right? And I agree. You can tell Zack is happy. Netflix is supporting him all the way. Look at the new Super Bowl commercial that they're doing for Netflix that Will Ferrell's starring in. The first thing you see is an Army of the Dead, reference. They love Zack over there. And they're loving him with Rebel Moon. But anyways, Corey, obviously this is causing a big stir on Twitter. People are upset. They're angry. What's your initial reaction to this?
I find it funny that this man is going to be bashing somebody on wackiest hashtag or wackiest tweets, man. Dude needs to look at himself first and kind of reflect, think about it a little bit, and maybe not post stupid shit like he normally does. I got this message today first by Batdan. So Batdan
Batdan's on it, which I'm doing a show. We recorded a show with Batdan, just like Super Bro Corey was on, talking about Man of Steel 2 on Netflix, which perfect timing with James Gunn's, tweet. Last night, Batdan and I talked about making the Batfleck movie on Netflix. So make sure you guys are ready for that tomorrow and check it out. You can set your notifications now for it.
But, and then obviously you sent me the rest of what Gunn said. For me, it was an interesting tweet. It seems like we're,
it seems to be the end. Right?
Is that how you took it, Trey?
But that's what I'm hearing, Corey. It's the end. It's the end. I tell you, the end of all things. Is it?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
It's not looking good, right?
Thank you for bringing attention to the movement. I'm glad you've seen it. I'm glad it's kind of, it's that thorn in your side right now. So that I'm finding that kind of amusing. Maybe people are a little bit more excited about sell ZSJL to Netflix and sell SnyderVerse to Netflix over maybe chapter 1 of DC. So that might be making his feelings hurt a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, you bring up some interesting points, and I think one thing that's to be said about this is that this hashtag has been trending pretty much every day
Hmm.
for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe it might be a full month now. And honestly, it's kind of surpassed even some of James Gunn's DCU Phase One slate in terms of trending on social media. It just shows a demand in the power of this community to be vocal, and they're doing it in a very positive way. Bear Girl says Gunn is lying. What's up, Marcus? Good to see you, Marcus. Good to see you as well, Bats. Now, here's the interesting thing. This hashtag has been going for a month, right? That's Gunn is very aware of it. People have tweeted at him with it, even though we've asked not to because of the rules of engagement that were set up by Skywalker and Leon, who developed the hashtag and is leading the charge with Sammy, the Snyder Queen. But here's the interesting thing: the timing of this. The timing is whack, to be honest. The fact that they're coming up on a big social media event February 14th next week, and now James Gunn decides to talk about it, and comicbook.com was able to make an article like that on it. It really seems like it was planned, that this wasn't a coincidence, as we tend to like to say here.
Coincidence? I think not.
The Bat Channel checked his watch and he said the timing seems whack. Okay. It is whack.
Is it whack?
Oh, that is whack.
It is whack timing for sure. Because with the event being so close, everyone's getting hyped for it. We're doing an Army of the Dead watch party to get Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead trending once again this weekend on Saturday night. Hope you guys can make it there with us. And it's going to be an American Foundation for Suicide Prevention super chat fundraiser. All of the AFSP super chats that we get is going to go to the Autumn Snyder Tribute Fund. And we also have right now on our Instagram page, you'll notice that Sammy helped share on her Snyder Queen page. And that is, we're doing another fundraiser on Instagram to raise $214 for obvious reasons. And we already raised about $50. So great job, guys. Keep it up. And that's part of what makes our community so great. But the timing seems interesting, doesn't it, Corey?
Very interesting, buddy. It's I have a clip for what exactly I thought of, and I don't know. I know you know what it is, but you tell me when's a good time to kind of truly share to everybody how I feel about it. But yeah, the timing's interesting. It seems like he knows that a 214 event is coming. That there's going to be a lot of people tweeting out that day. If you're not following Skywalker the Jedi and the accounts, you need to be, because it's going to be huge on February 14th. So make sure you're getting your tweets ready to go, because I think he's kind of in panic mode a little bit, Trey.
I think so too. And here's the silly thing, right? Like, it would have been better if he just didn't bring attention to it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Forbes has already talked about like how this is it's a completely possible, solution to the kind of the mess that DC is in right now, kind of the division of the fandom, right? They've talked about how it's possible. Comicbook.com has even talked about it, how it's possible. Our movie news has talked about it. There's so many people that have brought up the hashtag Sell SnyderVerse To Netflix that there's no way James Gunn hasn't noticed what is going on with this community and what they're talking about. Now I feel like it's important, Corey, to break down his tweets.
Sure.
Let's go back to him real quick.
Back to the last tweet.
Yes.
Slide.
Mm-hmm.
This one? Okay, here we go.
Okay. So he says, I have to say this has got to be the wackiest hashtag ever since. First off, ever since, what are you referring to there?
He's referring to his wacky ass hashtag.
His wackiest
tweet. Oh, that is whack.
Or was it a dig towards the Restore to Snyderverse release? Or maybe he's even referring to when people were trending quite often, hashtag, fire James Gunn, which made headlines too, so he must be aware of such discussions there from the fans. But he says Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. So this is once again referring to that anyone who has talked about Peter's, basically licensing things out to other streaming services like Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu, and whoever really is. Anyone who thinks that's not happening, he just said it, they're already doing it. They're already talking about how they can license things out. Interesting for all the people that denied it was even possible. And then he says,
isn't it funny how they switch stories real quick? They like, oh, it is possible, but it's going to cost too much. And then I heard like billions of dollars. And then like now I'm hearing like, oh, it's going to cost like over this much million, like. I was like, good God, man. They're trying to find
they're going to find an excuse and a reason to deny what is the truth over and over again. Now let's break down his second point. Zack hasn't expressed any interest and seems happy to be doing what he's doing, which we all know Zack is very happy about what he's doing. But that's interesting. You've talked to Zack. Okay. And you said Zack contacted you to express his support about your choices. My guess is it was something very similar to what Zack did with Matt Reeves when the Batman trailer came out during DC fandom. And he was like, dude, this is freaking awesome. And he probably just said the same thing to James Gunn. But this is a typical Zack Snyder thing to do, to be like, hey, man, cool stuff. Because he's a DC fan, right? Like he's also a big supporter of people he's worked with, like James Gunn during Dawn of the Dead. It's just the guy Zack Snyder is. But it's interesting that he says Zack Snyder hasn't showed any interest. Now, I wouldn't expect Zack Snyder to be the guy to text James Gunn like, oh, dude, your DC slate looks awesome. By the way, I want to do my shit still. Zack is very much like, he's people focused. He's more supportive than he is, hey, let me support you, but hey, I'm supporting you because I want you to do my shit. Zack, how many times have we never heard Zack doing that, right? Like, Zack is just a very nice guy. But it's interesting that people would say, or James Gunn would say, Zack has not showed any interest. When, Corey, can you go to, I think it's 2 slides from now.
Yep, let me bring that up.
This is from my good friend Leon, the new Geeks of the Cool Table, who's been really leading the charge along with Skywalker the Jedi and Snyder Queen, the Trinity, posting the 6 Vero post from my good buddy Jacob Torres. And that's kind of interesting. It looks like someone has liked every post that has talked about selling the Snyderverse to Netflix. Corey, who can you read that person for me?
I'm sorry. What did you want me to do?
Can you read the name of the person that liked each Vero post, please?
Oh, yeah. Let me bring it up. Looks like Zack Snyder.
Uh-huh.
The next post over is Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Third post over Zack Snyder.
Uh-huh.
Who is this Zack Snyder guy? The fourth post over Zack Snyder. Fifth post Zack Snyder, and sixth post Zack Snyder.
So that's 6 messages all about selling the Snyderverse to Netflix. And
Coincidence? I think not.
I think what we're trying to say to Mr. Gunn here is,
Stop it. Get some help.
a little PSA from the king himself of basketball, or Mr. Orkin Beans.
Out to Orkin Beans.
Thank you so much, sir, for that like and subscribe to the Bat Channel. Yes, listen to Orkin Beans. If you don't, he will send his orc armies after you. He will. I've seen him do it. It's scary. Gunn is a liar. Don't fall for his antics. No one here is. I feel sorry for the people that are. Yes, Efertis. No mercy on 214. Yes. Oh my goodness. So what is this? Zack hasn't showed any interest, and it's quite silly. There's been plenty of interviews that Zack has done with people like Tyrone Magnus, even back in the day with Lightcast. So many people where he has talked about, everyone always asks like, hey, if Discovery called you, would you be interested in coming back? And what does he always say? Let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm there. I would love it. But not only that, Zack of all people, who knows that people are paying attention to whatever he does. They know when he likes something. They know when he posts a picture. There's usually a hidden message in there, whether it has to do with the Snyderverse or something else, like cooking a turkey and you're seeing Final Crisis book behind him, behind his turkey. All those like secret messages that he does. You don't think he knows that people are paying attention if he's constantly liking a Vero post about selling the Snyderverse to Netflix?
I don't think he's interested. He's happy world building.
He's happy world building. And you know what? He's killing it over at Netflix. And he's going to blow away everything that WBD is doing over at their universe, because Zack is just, he has that community base around him, and Rebel Moon, you hear Star Wars fans are starting to talk about Rebel Moon, and they're like, this is going to be freaking insane. This is going to be the bomb. And people who I've noticed normally aren't Zack Snyder fans are talking about Rebel Moon, different content creators, everyone, the buzz is happening. And this film is not going to come out for like another 10 months.
Whoa. I just read Neo7's super chat.
Ooh, hello with that $5 super chat from my boy Marcus. The tweeter gun. I like it. The tweeter gun responded to and has never tweeted that hashtag before today. Very sus. It is very sus, right? Like, why wouldn't he shut it down? And if anything, this is going to backfire on him. He would have done more service to himself and the DCU if he just didn't say something. This is the same silly people that like Ann Sarnoff, who told you the Snyderverse is a cul-de-sac, or like the people who were trying to tell you that the Snyder Cut didn't exist or that the Snyder Cut would never get released. And it would piss you off to where, okay, the next thing to do is to trend the shit out of the very thing he says is impossible. And look, all of a sudden it happens. It's done. They made the Snyder Cut. This is going to happen in a very similar way. But if anything, you know what he just proved, Corey? Let's once again go back to Mr. James Gunn's post.
Can we get my man
quick, yes, please. Marcus, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. I really appreciate it, sir. Corey, can you play my man a little something?
This one's for you, Marcus.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yeah. What is your profession on 214? That's the question. To me, what he just proved here, if you break down his tweet, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. He just proved, like I said, he just proved anyone who said that DC isn't going to license things out, they are. They already have done it. Sandman, Neil Gaiman says he doesn't even have to answer to James Gunn because it's his DC universe over on Netflix. They had the show Lucifer. They had Sweet Tooth. They're going to have more. Amazon is going to be doing some DC stuff. Clearly, they can license things out, and that's just the truth of it. Mask of Shy says, now some are saying that was years ago, but Zack maybe yesterday just give up. Zack was on a show recently just after Black Adam was released. So that was 3 months ago. Yeah. 4 or 3 months ago. When Henry Cavill is coming back, he talked about like, hey man, yeah, I love the support. I love that you guys want me to come back. And he gave the nod, that he was like, yeah, I'd do it if they'd call me. Well, it's very silly. It's very silly that here James Gunn basically says he's already having conversations with Netflix. But here's the crackpot thing here with anyone who's like, well, he's basically saying this and he killed the Snyderverse, right? He killed it. When the whole thing about hashtag Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix, hashtag Sell ZSJL to Netflix, it has nothing to do with James Gunn. He doesn't even really have a say in this, you know? I mean, he can advise David Zasloff on what he would like to happen, but the truth is WBD's in a lot of debt and they need money. And right now, James Gunn is probably, I mean, it's probably why his phase 1 wasn't phase 1 worthy for a lot of those things, because he doesn't have much money to do but anything else. So they're going to have to license these things out. So here's the truth of it with, oh, and I think I just saw a super chat. Thank you, Bats. I appreciate it. Well, I'll get to my font in just the same, but Costello's Way, who is directing and producing that animated Batman, The Last Goodbye kind of Batfleck story that's going to happen. It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Gave us a $5 super chat saying, I find it rich that Gunn forgot we supported him to finish Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We are just asking for closure so Zack can finish the stories we were robbed. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people that backed him up when he got fired from Disney because of controversial whack tweets. And there's a lot of people that went up to bat for him to come back and do Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and he got that. So you bring up a very, very good point, Phil. Great point. Corey, can you play Phil $5 thank you, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Are you sweet talking me?
Robbed.
This whole theme right here, and this is where I say it's going to backfire on James Gunn, is the simple fact that he brought more attention to it, because comicbook.com just talked about it. Other people are going to talk about it. We're talking about it. Other content creators are talking about it. He's bringing more light to something he doesn't want to happen. And that shows panic, right? It's kind of like that quote in Andor, Corey. Do you remember the one where he's just like, power doesn't hesitate. Power doesn't, panic. Power doesn't panic, and this is a great example of that. Power is panicking right here. The man in charge of DCU is freaking out because he's not sure what's going to have February 14th, because here's the truth, guys. Netflix, they might not have been aware of really what was going on, or they're waiting to see. This could be a wait and see game for them, to see what the demand is on February 14th. If you guys hit numbers like you did back in November of 2019, million tweets, do the Restore the Snyderverse. So, shortly after ZSJL came out, and you did 1.5 million tweets, guarantee most likely Netflix is going to call up James Gunn. Who knows how recent that call was, as Sil said, how recent was his phone call with Netflix? This campaign has only been out for 3 weeks. He's been in charge of DC for quite a few months now. So what is it? It's really, the ball is in your court, guys. So for the Snyderverse community,
people who are just joining, just jumping on Twitter for the first time ever to, be a part of these different campaigns. This is going to be huge, but we need everybody pushing for it.
You're absolutely right, Super Bro. And I think that this keep to the code, right? Like, keep to the rules of engagement that Skywalker had brought up, where he says, be positive. There's no reason to be like, well, you're full of shit, James Gunn, or you're lying, or to be like, see, Zach does support it, James Gunn. You don't even need to bring him up into the conversation, because how much it's going to be so much sweeter when Netflix shows up a couple weeks later, because they see the demand on February 14th and says, hey, you already are working with us on this type of project. What's the offer have to be to get the Snyderverse? We would love to continue this story. And here's the thing, guys, for all the haters that are like, well, the money, they just don't have the money. They have to give billions of dollars to get it happening. First off, Netflix is worth over $300 billion. WBD is worth $30 billion. So they're not in the same freaking league here. Okay. They're just not. And they've already spent over $90 million with Rebel Moon Part 2, just Part 2. Who knows how much more they're doing with Zack on that stuff. So they're willing to fund big budget things. It's just silly to me that if any of the haters out there like saying this is not possible, it's not going to happen, Netflix can't afford it, let Netflix figure that out. It's not our job to figure that out.
Let the business people, negotiate it and figure this out. So, and then to finish on with the ROEs, too, make sure you're using the main two hashtags. The hashtag sells ESJL to Netflix or hashtag Sell SnyderVerse To Netflix. Those are the only two ones which the guy in the tweet did not do. And 3, we're not. The last one is you're not supposed to engage old Warner Brothers Discovery and everything like that. So another rule of engagement that last tweeter didn't follow as well. So it's like Marcus said, it's super interesting, right? First time ever tweeting it. Maybe Gunn planted another, hey, do you mind tweeting this? I can respond to this, but don't use follow the rules of engagement, everything like that.
It is very interesting, right? I mean, I don't know about that so much, but like, let
me put my tinfoil hat back.
Tinfoil hat on, right? The timing is suspect, especially with it coming next week.
Right.
This big event, it's going to be huge. Make sure you guys show up for it. And I know if you have a pretty lady or a boyfriend that you plan on going to, Valentine's Day with, however, schedule your tweets.
We're going to be busy that day. We have tweets scheduled and ready to rock.
I've already told my wife and she said, as long as, you take me to dinner or at least make dinner. So I was like, I'll make dinner so that way we'll be home so I can tweet. Yay. All the things to do about, all the things you sacrifice so you can be passionate about something. I'm just kidding. I love you, honey, if you're watching this. But
so we should probably bring up the next slide, Trey. We're at 6:39 here.
6:39. Cool. El Necron has a show in just a moment with Mikey's son to talk about Dreamwalker. So make sure you guys hit your notification bell for that. And if you haven't smashed that like for our show yet, show us some support. You already got some people doing super chats. We thank you guys so much.
And Zachary, this is going to be a quick show, so we'll probably talk about that another time.
I'm assuming you're probably talking about the possible changes that happened. But yeah, we'll talk about it another time. But here's even more proof, as we have talked about, that Peter Safran has already talked about selling outside of HBO Max. Elseworlds, right? We have the ability to sell outside of HBO Max if that makes sense. So we'll figure out if there are certain shows coming up that we can better serve elsewhere, or if there's not real estate on HBO Max for us. But we like the idea of having shows on Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix. It just broadens the DC audience. So there's clearly anyone who's talking about like, well, they wouldn't want to fund the competition. They're not going to want to support people like Hulu or Amazon or Netflix, who are, Netflix, the streaming king. They wouldn't want to support those businesses when they have their own HBO Max. No, at this point, WBD doesn't have the option to be competitive. They have to license things out to be eventually competitive. If David Zaslav wants to be a part of the long haul, he's going to have to play ball for a little bit with everyone else. It's just the truth of it. So you got this Elseworlds with Matt Reeves' universe, possibly Constantine 2, which sounds like it's still a go. Not sure what's going on there. And you got the Joker with Todd Phillips. Why not have the Snyderverse? Now, a lot of people say, well, it would be Batman versus Batman. But here's the best thing about this argument, guys. And I actually talk about this a little bit in depth with Batman on his show that's going to be premiering tomorrow, is that James Gunn basically defeated that argument that says he wouldn't want to have three different Batman going at it, basically competing against each other. Who's better? You're going to have Matt Reeves Batman. You're going to have Robert Pattinson. You're going to have Batman Brave and the Bold. You're going to tell me that the trades and the news articles and the news outlets aren't going to compare the two? Who did it best? Whose box office numbers were more successful? Who had a better audience score? Who had a better Rotten Tomato score? they're going to compare them. So he already opened up that floodgate of two Batman, two comparisons. One is his DC universe. One he has really nothing to do with. He really has no say with Matt Reeves. Yes, he's in charge of DC, but it sounds like Matt Reeves is getting whatever the hell he wants because David Zaslav said it's Batman. It was successful enough. We're keeping his shit. James Gunn couldn't even convince Matt Reeves to join the DCU. It's kind of interesting, right? So anyone who's trying to say having multiple Batman, especially one on a different platform, is not a good, James Gunn would never allow that. He's already allowing it. He can't take the success of Matt Reeves' Batman for himself, being the DC head. It's not his universe, right? It's Elseworlds. It's out there. It's something he's really not a part of. It's like Neil Gaiman's Sandman, which says he doesn't have to talk to James Gunn. It's very similar in that aspect. So what's Corey, out of curiosity, what's the community saying?
Seeing a lot of James Gunn scared. James just confirmed that Snyderverse can be sold. Bat saying Netflix just spent $900 million on a new facility in New Jersey. Sin Havoc said Gunn's mad because people don't care about his slate. And I also think there's that timing of it all. Plus 214's right around the corner as well. So it's all just super interesting how everything's playing out. A lot of Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix, Sell ZSJL to Netflix.
Yeah.
Oracle Clock Tower coming in with a smash of like, peeps.
Thank you, Oracle. I appreciate it. Yeah, guys, it really is one of those scenes where Gunn's, he did more damage to himself. And honestly, here's the truth, guys. Think about this. Maybe this was done on purpose. You could say it was done negatively, like to hurt this communities and this movement to ask for Netflix to put an offer down to WBD. Or I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. What if James Gunn did this because there is a discussion going on? As he already kind of mentioned that there's already conversations happening with Netflix, but to do what this usually does, which is this is going to piss off the community. You guys are going to trend like crazy. And if you guys trend so high that you show this demand, that Netflix will put down an offer so that WBD can get some money.
Right. That's an interesting perspective.
Supply and demand, right? Like James Gunn and David Zaslav could sit there and be like, you see 1 million people tweeted hashtag Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. What you going to put down? You're going to have to raise that. There's the 1.5 million people just waiting to give you their money. It's an interesting thought. I don't know if that's so much true. I don't know if I so much believe it, but just throwing a different kind of spin on it, you kind of look at it and you go, wow. Like
any publicity is good publicity.
Any publicity is good publicity. And business wise, it's a good decision, right? Either way, this works out for WBD. If we trend the hell out of the Snyderverse selling to going to Netflix, WBD gets money either way, right? Like Netflix is going to put down an offer. They can either say no, or maybe if it's big enough that WBD just says to himself, we'll take the HBO Max and we'll do the Elseworlds of Snyderverse here. That's possible. It still could happen. So basically, what have we done here, Corey? You know what we've done with James Gunn's tweets? We basically said all of it's full of crap, or essentially that it's not worth anything. It doesn't mean anything. He basically proved himself wrong. Corey, can you pull up the PowerPoint again?
Yep.
Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, but we're working with them, right? He says we're already discussing other things. Netflix hasn't expressed interest because they haven't seen the big event yet. this 214 right now, all that's been happening with the hashtag Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix, hashtag Sell ZSJL to Netflix, is just randomly people are talking about how they want this to happen. There's no like scheduled event, and social media works in a different way because of the Snyderverse community, the Snyder Cut community. They see how powerful we can be when there's a scheduled event. So why not wait to see what happens with that for the social engagement? You better believe they're paying attention. Netflix is definitely paying attention to what's going to happen February 14th. And I think if you guys show up, the ball is in your court right now. If you guys show up and you slam dunk this thing, then Netflix is going to look at that and they're going to start figuring out the numbers themselves. They're going to put an offer down. Hell, if they see that, if it's that huge of a thing, Amazon might look at it and go, what's Netflix going to do? Is Netflix going to put an offer down? We have Lord of the Rings that we gave a shit ton of money for. We have James Bond that we gave a shit ton of money for. What else can we get? Hell, maybe Apple TV. Maybe Apple TV will freaking knock on WBD's door and be like, hey, we saw that 1.5 million tweets that they just did. You guys selling? We'll buy. We already took Godzilla's MonsterVerse away from you. What do you think? It's possible.
Yeah, like I just keep reading it over and over again. Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. Well, guess what? If the 214-day trends big, they may take interest.
Absolutely. 2, Zack hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing. We just showed 6 photos posts on Vero where Zack liked each of them, talking about hashtag Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. Hasn't expressed any interest. So that's full of shit. We already know that's full of shit, but he's simply talking about because Zack reached out to him maybe once and said, hey, dude, that looks awesome. Congrats. But because Zack didn't say, dude, that looks awesome, I would love if you would sell SnyderVerse to me. Like, that seems like that doesn't seem really genuine, right? Like, I don't really care about you. From what I've heard from Zack, he's a very like people person. He's very engaging. He's very focused on that person's well-being. Something tells me he probably just showed his support to James Gunn, but James Gunn is going to take that as in, because he didn't simply say like, hey, I want to do this. You know, it's just like what Dave Bautista said. Dave Bautista wanted to play Bane at one point, right? But he was like, oh, I just said thank you. You know, I just said like, he's like, I just said congratulations, bud. I didn't want him to think I wanted something from him. I just wanted to show support. I would imagine Zack Snyder is probably a very similar way. So 2 points that James Gunn had, both completely torn apart because of critical thinking and looking at the facts, looking at the research. Now, I'm not saying this means like, oh my God, something's happening in the background. Like it's definitely happening. No, the ball is still in your court. Anyone who says, and I know my title of this show is a little misleading. Zack Snyder and Netflix not interested. Is it over? The truth is it's not over. 214 is definitely going to be a deciding day though. It's going to be the day that you either show up and you make it happen, or it's never going to happen. Remember, this is final stand. This is last stand, right? Like you have to show up if you want it. If you don't care, then fine. Enjoy the DCU, and that's okay. I plan on watching some of the DCU stuff because I'm a DC fan, and plus I'm a content creator. Like, what else am I going to do? That's just the truth of it. But if you don't want to support the DCU, then fine. But show up then on, was it Tuesday or Wednesday, Corey, for 214? Tuesday. Show up. Support it. Go for it. What's the worst that can happen? You're not hurting anyone by asking for Netflix to put an offer down. You're just showing demand. And for any person that's hating on you, trying to make you feel bad, trying to troll you, saying you're an idiot, you don't know how business works, they said the same thing about the Snyder Cut. You don't know how Hollywood works. This shit would never happen. It happens.
It's the same thing. The same thing as before.
Yeah. Is it
Same
Leahy's?
whack comments.
Is it Leahy's? Leahy's? I mean, guess Gunn is full of ego. He would have to fall back and eat his words and kneel to the toxic fandom, which he won't do. He has classified the entire fandom as toxic and insulted us too much already. And this is where I say, Leahy's, the trades right now, like Forbes and some of the other communities like comicbook.com have already talked about this new trending hashtag in a positive light because we're following the rules of engagement. There's a little more organization to this hashtag than before, and that's because with time, really nothing like this happened until the Snyder Cut, right? Like everyone was kind of learning as they went. We saw what worked, we saw what didn't, we saw where we could improve, and the community with this hashtag Sell SnyderVerse To Netflix and hashtag Sell ZSJL To Netflix, Skywalker and Leon and Sammy did a wonderful job, and everyone with the cool table,
Trinity and the cool table,
the Trinity, did a wonderful job of really creating these rules of engagement to make this campaign have the opportunity to be as successful as possible if you follow it. But the moment people start being negative, like they're hurting the image, right? And there's always a few bad apples. There's always going to be, and there's going to be some people who don't truly support this movement, who are going to try to act like they do and try to give you a bad rep,
like potentially the tweeter today.
Potentially the tweeter today. But follow the rules of engagement. Hashtag Sell SnyderVerse To Netflix, hashtag Sell ZSJL To Netflix. Be right. Positive. You don't need to engage with WBD because you're not asking WBD for this. You're asking Netflix. Ask Netflix, right? You're asking Netflix. And really, as we've talked about earlier, you're asking any streaming service, probably not Disney Plus, because I'm pretty sure WBD would say hell no to that. But and I don't know, Disney just fired a whole bunch of people, but any streaming service, really, Netflix is just the home of Zack Snyder. It's where he's doing all this stuff with Stone Quarry, and where he's coming into a contract year. Rebel Moon is about to come out, and it sounds like it's going to be a mega hit thing with just the hype surrounding it. It just makes sense that it's Netflix, but we need to continue using the two hashtags. If you want to talk about the other things like, hey, I would love to see the Batfleck movie over on Netflix, or hey, I would love to see Man of Tomorrow over on Netflix, hashtag Sell ZSJL To Netflix, hashtag Sell SnyderVerse To Netflix. You can do things like that. Follow the rules of engagement. February 14th, the ball is in your court.
So
what are you going to do?
So just to let you know, too, it looks like El Necron adjusted his starting time. Hopefully he didn't do that for us, and that's
I hope he didn't
scheduling thing with Mikey and everything like that. But
make sure you guys show up for that show.
So definitely make sure you guys show up for kind of an amazing interview with Necron and the one and only Mikey's son, and take a deep dive into the Mikeyverse.
Absolutely. Which, if you haven't checked out the interview that Super Bro and I did with Mikey's son, that was really cool. It was our first Spotlight series interview with Mikey, and we learned a lot about the Dreamwalkers process and how quickly all that happened. So make sure you guys check out that stream at another time. Obviously, do it later after El Necron's show. But definitely support that the whole Mikeyverse and the Dreamwalker comic becoming a live action series. That's huge. That's going to be great content at whatever streaming service picks that up. But Sox Bulletin says here, Legendary Pictures got so mad at Warner Brothers they left and took the Monsterverse with them and went to Sony and Apple TV. Exactly, right. So clearly things are willing to go out and do it. Bat says Snyderverse will skyly write any platform it goes on. Oh yeah, it'll take up whatever streaming service takes it is going to be very successful with it. Osa Fresh says Gunn talking himself into a corner once again. And that's where I say, what was the point? You could say it was negative. It is meant to hurt the 214 campaign because he must know that's coming up. And I'm sure the people around him are very aware of it. But either Gunn, he doesn't have a PR person that's, checking on him, making sure like, hey, don't tweet this shit out. But he would have done himself more service, really, if he didn't want it to happen, if he didn't want it to be successful, it would have been smarter not to have said anything. But the fact that he said it now, right before the event, hopefully that hypes you guys up to really show up and prove James Gunn wrong, and prove anyone wrong, just like you guys did in November of 2019. It's very interesting of how this all went down. Snyder has shown support to people who has slighted him many times. So it's obvious he will say something nice to the WBD regime. It's just the way he is. He's very professional. I think if you like, and he realizes it's a brand new team. He's worked with James Gunn before with Dawn of the Dead, which is easily like one of the greatest zombie films, or remakes, I should even say too. But so I think he's just a friendly guy. I think he tries to work with anyone and just be pleasant. He just seems like a pleasant guy. Now,
but also in some ways, he got Gunn to mention him. Like in a tweet, like, oh yeah, I talked to Snyder. He's a great guy. He's super happy building. Like, yeah, we know Snyder's an awesome guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we know he's a nice guy. Like we know, like, I mean, I get it. In a way, he was trying to say, well, see, like, Snyder supports me, and if Snyder supports me, that means you guys are going to support me, right? And it's kind of
what
like,
also Snyder's supports.
Exactly. He supports it. And hey, I would expect nothing less from Zack Snyder than to show support to any content creator. And I mean, it's just the way he is, remember what they did to Richard Donner too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, as we've talked about, they have a history of doing it. What's up, Domain? It's good to see you.
Jason Kelly's in the house.
Jason Kelly, my man. It's always good to see you, brother.
Learning from past mistakes is why this movement is working better. Absolutely.
At a faster rate too.
Mm-hmm. It's catching on, Skywalker, the Trinity, Leon of the New Geeks, the Snyder Queen are doing fantastic things. The Cool Table, that's where it's at. So it's they've been doing some really good stuff over there.
If the Batfleck movie happens, I would campaign for Batista as Bane. Hey man, that would be cool. But I know he kind of said he doesn't think he's in shape anymore for Batista, which is crazy for Batista to say that about not being able to play Bane. But he was kind of excited about the Lex Luthor thing. That'd be interesting. I haven't seen his new film with M. Night Shyamalan yet, but I'm excited. I want to see it. Hopefully this weekend. But I love what El Necron said here. Cheap attempt. Oh yeah, can you pull that up real quick?
Yep, let me pull that one up real quick. Cheap attempt to weaponize Zack's comments. Absolutely.
And not only that, I feel like it was taken out of context, like simply because Zack didn't bring it up in probably a text message, saying congrats or like, oh, cool slate, that James Gunn took that as in like, oh, well, he must not be interested. Like, okay, do you take that Zack didn't bring it up because like, did you take Zack not bringing it up to be interested when the truth is you guys are interested? If Zack said something, would you guys be interested? I feel like Zack is just not going to be that person because he's already tried numerous times to go back to Warner Brothers and be like, hey, what do you think? Would you want to continue it? I just get the sense that Zack is going to say, they're going to call me. He has a great thing going on. That without question, he has a great thing going on with Netflix. There's no reason to mess with that. That I feel like he's just not going to be the one to call this time. It's kind of like that girl you're trying to get on a date. Like I'm going to wait for her to call me. To see if she's interested. Zack is playing the same game, man. I see how it is. Yeah. The good Austin says, let's hear your thoughts about Sky bringing the movement to the Stone Quarry. Oh yes. If you guys didn't hear, Skywalker, the Jedi, the founder of the two hashtags, in the community, he got full dressed up in a black Superman suit. Freaking.
I have it here.
Oh, do you have it? Can you pull it up? It's actually so freaking cool. It reminds me, what it reminds me of? And it's actually the thing that first alerted me to the release the Snyder Cut movement, was that moment when all those cosplayers went to Warner Brothers and said hashtag release the Snyder Cut. I think it was in like January of 2018, shortly after the Justice League film came out, and they had that giant banner. And the fact that Skywalker went out dressed up as freaking Superman, with posters saying trending day 214. Zack probably thought that was really cool. I'm sure if someone posted that on Vero and tagged Zack, he would have he probably would have hit the like again. It's just super cool. I love what Sky says here.
Right.
Went down to Stone Quarry today. 214 will be a day for all of us to come together and show just how strong we are together. The whole world will become a Justice League. Hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix. Hashtag sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. And then he tagged Netflix. I mean, you can't do it better right there.
I think the biggest thing that, I see when I see this, I was like, man, look at the courage. Look at the, just badass, mentality of Sky going down there dressed up as Superman. And he's right there. He's just one guy standing in front of the Stone Quarry. And look at the views. 43.4 thousand views of this tweet already. And it just happened. It just happened. So if Sky's going to stand up and make a voice, that's one voice right there. 43.4 thousand views. Just imagine what we're going to bring on February 14th. We got to, Sky showed up for us. He's there in LA. He's doing his thing. He's rocking it. He's showing up. We have to show up for Sky on February 14th.
And honestly, not even just showing up for Sky, but show up for yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you truly want to see, and
absolutely,
I've said this multiple times, I hate not finishing a story. It could be not a great movie. I mean, if it was a terrible story, I would come back and if it was a terrible story, I wouldn't continue it, right? But if it was good, it was good. I need to see how it ends, right? I'm just that type of person. If you're the same way where you need to see how it ends, or if Zack Snyder's Justice League piqued your interest to see where the Dark Side War goes and the Nightmare verse, goes, then show up for yourself. Show up for Zack Snyder if you want to see his content. He's already expressed interest. You are right now on February 14th. You are telling Netflix, and there's nothing wrong with this. Once again, I cannot tell you if there are people hating on you, if there are people trolling you. And hey, if there are people trolling you, you don't need to respond to them. They're noise. They're white noise. Don't even engage. Don't even be negative. Or you know what? If they do respond to you, just retweet back and say, thanks for sharing my tweet. Hashtag sell SnyderVerse. Hashtag to Netflix. Hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix. They just helped you out. They just shared your tweet. There's no reason to be negative back to them because
engagement, baby.
Engagement. It's engagement either way. And if you get the SnyderVerse, guarantee they'll be watching it and they'll probably be talking about it. And at that moment, after it comes out, you can just say, you're welcome.
Just like everything, YouTube doesn't care if you hit the like button, if you hit the dislike button, that's engagement.
Yeah. The question is, guys, on 214.
Like I said, we hungry.
Are you hungry? Do you want the Snyderverse? This is the last shot. Really, it is. And I have to be honest with you guys. To me, it's I'm a DC fan. I loved the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse was the best depiction to my DC characters that I love. I thought what Zack did was absolutely amazing. I want to see it continue. I want to see it end. But if this is the end, I got to just accept with what James Gunn is doing. And I'm going to do that with the DCU. But I'm always going to wonder, what if with the DCEU with Zack Snyder? It's up to you guys. If you're hungry enough, you want it. If you...
Oh, man, you just got to play one game at a time and go out there and give 110%, and you just got to show you want it more than they do when chips fall where they may.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Jerry and Dan.
Give 110%. On February 14th, you guys can do this. There's no reason to engage with those people that are hating on you in a negative way. There's no reason to tag James Gunn, WBD. Our conversation is not with them. It's It's with any streaming service, but more importantly, it's with Netflix. As Leon of the New Geek says, the point, a failed attempt to control the narrative. We're smarter than that, though. Hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix. Hashtag sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. It's a wonderful point. Go ahead, Corey. I know you wanted to say something about it.
Oh, is it time for the video, Trey?
Oh no. I want to save that kind of towards the end.
Save that for the end?
Yeah, because it's a good one. I love what you had there. But what's your thoughts about James Gunn trying to control the narrative?
Actually, you keep coming. I just got a message real quick. 1 second.
Oh, okay. So for me, guys, when it comes to next Tuesday, if you guys show the demand to Netflix, they're waiting on you guys. The eyes are on you. It's your one shot, your one opportunity. Would you capture it? You know, this is your moment. Forget what anyone is trying to take away from you. You're not hurting anyone. Anyone is like, you guys are delusional. You're crazy. You're not delusional. The same people that called you are calling you delusional are the same people that said there were no Snyder Cut. There was no Snyder Cut. There was no way it was going to be released. There was no way it was going to be successful. And yet even Warner Brothers had to call it a global phenomenon. At least, you know, everyone else in the world called it a global phenomenon, but Warner Brothers was a bit sour about it. Let's see what you guys are saying here real quick in the chat as I'm trying to catch up a little bit as we wait for Super Bro Corey to get back. He just pulled a Mikey on me. Technically, WBD won't call him. Netflix will. Yeah, absolutely. Trending day 214 hashtag sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. Absolutely. Yep. Bats, we hungry. Yeah, I like to hear that. We hungry. Yep. Fast 2 is a good one, man. I will agree. Sickness. Oh, snap, Corey. You know what happens every time my boy Sickness is in the house. Sickness, it is always good to see you, good sir. I gotta label these better. Here we go.
Wow, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. You mother, get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
It's always good to see you, Sickness. It's always a pleasure, brother.
Okay.
Oh, you're back, Super Bro.
Just about. Give me 1 more second.
Jason Kelly saying I love Bedazzled. It's a good one, man. Brendan Fraser, and I'm hoping he pulls in the Oscar for The Whale. It'd be good to see him succeed. And I think we're going to talk about this at some point. I might make a video. He had just talked about Batgirl on the Howard Stern show and talked about his dissatisfaction with the Warner Brothers Discovery's decision on it. I mean, it's an interesting situation for sure. We'll dive deep into that on another video. Darth Capbat says, I won't watch any of his content in theaters. Maybe Batman only for my love for Batman, but another older Batman, but Batfleck can't come back. It's probably going to be an older Batman, though, because Damian Wayne is in it with Brave and the Bold.
So the good Austin sent me...
Ooh, the good Austin?
Yeah, he sent me the slides that were on Sky's poster.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So remember,
close view.
Follow the rules of engagement. Okay. I love the little Green Lantern thing he's got going on here. Rule number 1, please be positive. Rule number 2, no negative hashtags, no boycott, no anti-WBD gun rhetoric. So he's talking about like fire James Gunn, anything like that. And do not tag any of them in your tweets. Yep. I mean, it's just like we were talking about, right? There's no reason to engage with the old regime because the conversation, we're not asking them, we're asking Netflix, you know? Rule number 3, only use the 2 hashtags, hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix, hashtag sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. And then with the awesome banner and shield that they made with the hashtag sell Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Was that good Austin who did that? I think so.
I'm not sure. If it was good Austin, good work, sir.
He makes just fire Fire logos, fire.
Oh, and as Good Austin says here, whoopsie daisy. Sorry, Trey, that's on me. Adding to the show. Yeah, man, you don't need to apologize for that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Good Austin.
Oh,
You
yeah,
do
man.
good work, my man.
Yep, those are just great slides for sure.
Yep. Desad, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're here, sir. It says, bring it on home, please. Darkseid is waiting. Please bring it home. Darkseid is waiting. I love it. I love it. Smash that like button. Thank you so much, Desad. You're the best. Sock says a great Disturbed song. That wasn't Disturbed singing that. That was Richard Cheese, which was used a version of Down with the Sickness in Dawn of the Dead, actually, and that's partly why I love it so much. And which Richard Cheese appeared in Army of the Dead as well. Let's see here. Lucas Iron says we campaigned for so long. We deserve closure. Absolutely, yeah. There's no reason to. This is one final push, right? It's that thing in Call of Duty. You know, you've been shot down. You're on the last stand. You just got the handgun out. What are you gonna do? You're gonna fight to the end, right? He says, have a fantastic rest of the stream. Got to go. We'll rewatch. Liz.
Yep.
Oh, it's Liz. Oh, okay. Liz. I dig that. That's a cool way to spell Liz.
Right.
Liz. I like that. That's dope. Mask of Shy. I'd have a series placed years after ZSJL. Episode 1, Clark's Family. Episode 2, Diana and the Mascara. Episode 3, Flash and the Titans. Episode 4, Victory in the Dark. Episode 5, Arthur and the 7. Episode 6, JL wins. World falls. Episode 6, and the episode 7, The End. Oh, interesting. That's kind of your idea for like Netflix doing it as a series. I dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe with a good Austin. Oh no.
Beautiful timing. I saw that and
I was about to say, Corey, she's already off. You can't have her. Can't have Kristen Kirk there.
But no, absolutely. So I know we're getting close. It's 7:15 right now. So
getting close to the El Necron show. It's gonna be awesome with Mikey Sun. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Show your support to El Necron of the Cool Table and Mikey Sun, who is heading up an executive producer of a new series called Dreamwalker based on his comics that we have back there. Make sure you guys check that out. But Corey, to get everyone hyped.
Yes. I want to bring up one more time, what Gunn said. I have to say this has to be the wackiest hashtag ever.
Oh, that is whack.
Oh, that is whack.
Since Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest. We read it already. We've seen it enough times. But man, Trey, when I first saw that and I was starting to get some text messages from people that, oh man, this is going to give something the betas to talk about. Me and you immediately took it a different way. The best way to explain how I felt when I saw that tweet is literally this. And I'm going to remove the comments real quick. And I'm just going to play it for you. This is the best way to say how James Gunn is really feeling by me seeing that tweet.
The warden is trying to break our spirit. He thinks we're going to skip practice today, wait for the field to dry, make it up tomorrow. You know what? Who gives a shit? 3 days till game time. We can handle it. But let me say this. That old man flooding this field tells me something. The guy is scared. Scared of you, sick, degenerate convicts. And you know what? He should be. Because I got news for you guys. We're going to win this thing.
James Gunn is scared. And he's scared of you people hitting that hashtag, sell ZSJL to Netflix, sell SnyderVerse to Netflix.
You know what's the funny thing about Corey? And now thinking about it, I love that. I love that freaking clip because the moment you showed that to me, I was like, you nailed it.
Yes.
When I sent the picture to Corey and we both had the same reaction, we didn't panic. And you want to know why? It's because we have the power. Like Gunn is so in over his head on this that it's like he has no idea what he just did. You know, when that famous quote after Pearl Harbor happened, where the Japanese commander says, "I only fear that we have awakened the sleeping dragon," or the sleeping giant, I think is what he said.
Yep.
That's exactly what.
That's what you just did, big fella. We're coming in hot.
Yeah.
We're coming in hot.
But we're coming at it with
baby.
different tactics. You know, we're coming at it with positivity. We're coming at it to where, like, you know what? We don't even have to worry about you. We're like, you're noise. That's all James Gunn. Imagine that, the head of DC Studios, and he's just background noise.
Bro,
you know,
I literally have chills and goosebumps right now, man. I am pumped for February 14th, man. February 14th is going to be a huge day.
Huge day. Make sure you guys follow the official ZSJL to Netflix account on Twitter. They're really leading the charge on this. Make sure you follow the time zones. Corey and I are getting up at 6:50 a.m. so we can start going crazy at 7 a.m. For hashtag Sell ZSJL.
Baby.
You know it. You already know. It's going to be a crazy day, but guys, you got to get everyone involved. Friends, family, like you have to go hard that day. Like I'm telling you, I think for you to really capture the moment and to get Netflix, you got to hit 1 million. And you know what? Your goal shouldn't be 1 million. The goal should be to beat Restore the Snyderverse, which is still the #1 hashtag, I think, ever. So hashtag either one. If you keep both, it'll be a competition between the both. Who can get hashtag ZSJL to, sell ZSJL to Netflix, hashtag Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix to 1.5 million first. You get that number, Netflix is going to take notice. WBD is forced to take notice because Netflix will probably offer them something that they can't say no to because they're going to put it this way. How funny is it going to be and ironic if essentially by you getting the Snyderverse over to Netflix, you basically funded James Gunn's DCU, which essentially is what's going to happen. Sickness, as I'm seeing fellow Snyder fans that weren't in on hashtag Sell ZSJL to Netflix jumping on now. Gunn's response just added hella fuel to the fire. Exactly. And to continue to add fire to get you guys hyped, I came up with another solution to catch Netflix's attention. Corey, can you bring up our next slide, please?
Yes, absolutely. Let me get it.
Cast the Mad Hatter, Ben Stiller, a Batman film, maybe. This Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are going to have an Army of the Dead watch party. Here's my thoughts on this, guys. There's a couple things about this. One, the most important thing, we're raising money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I have a fundraiser going on right now on my Instagram page at _bat channel. We've already raised about $50. Thank you to Sammy. She was one of the people that donated. I donated. Donate. The goal right there is $214 for obvious reasons. On Saturday, when we do this watch party, every super chat dollar that we get that day, we're going to give to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, Autumn Snyder's tribute fund, for obvious reasons that this is Zack. We support him. We love him. And we want to show our support to anyone who's dealing with depression and suicide, to know that there's a world around them that we care about them. That's the most important thing, right? Because I always care about people first. The second thing, I'm thinking if we get Army of the Dead trending randomly.
You're thinking?
I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm thinking. Ooh. If we get Army of the Dead trending randomly on Netflix, Netflix is going to kind of perk up their ears going like, what's happening here? Why? What just happened? Like we didn't have anything going on, right? Like there's no like Army of the Dead promo. There's none of this, right? So why did it happen? Well, then they're going to pay attention that there is a watch party for this hashtag ZSJL to Netflix, hashtag Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. Oh, there's this big February 14th event. Basically, I'm making this event having more eyes glued to this event because we're going to serve them up to you guys, right? We're going to serve Netflix up to you guys to have this moment of opportunity to say carpe diem, right?
Right. And this is just one watch party. So if you're a content creator and you want to do a different watch party on a different night and you want somebody to watch it with, let us know and we'll jump on that one as well. We want to watch this movie as much as possible. One, it's a fantastic movie.
Oh,
but
it's a great movie.
We want this movie top 10 as well.
Top 10. If you get it top 10, I think Netflix will take notes. Really, I would love to see top 3, but top 10, I would be happy with top 10. But if you can't watch it with us on Saturday, watch it in the morning, watch it Sunday, watch it multiple times. Hell, watch it anywhere between now and Tuesday to get Army of the Dead's viewership up so that Netflix goes, holy hell, this community just took a film that came out almost 2 years ago and made it start trending again. That's insane. So
real quick, Zachary, follow Super Bro Corey and the Bat Channel, and we'll get you hooked up, my friend. We'll get you connected.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got you, Zach. Domain says, enjoy the rest of the stream. Good to see you, Ben. El Necron, as long as the story is complete, it doesn't matter how we get there. Absolutely. So yes, this Saturday, join us for the Army of the Dead watch party. And a cool little thing here. I didn't screenshot it. But at Richard Citrone, I had tagged him on my post on Instagram, and he actually gave me a thumbs up. Seeing that obviously we're raising money for AFSP. It is a really cool thing. Richard Citrone, who was Ben Affleck's Batman stunt double, but he also plays Zeus in Army of the Dead, the Keen zombie there. And he gave a thumbs up for our event. So it's cool to see a little bit of support from them as always. But guys, let's show up. Let's show up on Saturday. Let's get Army of the Dead trending like crazy. Let's perk those ears up on Netflix to see what the hell's going on. So that way, when the stage is set on February 14th and we trend the hell out of hashtag Sell SnyderVerse To Netflix, hashtag Sell ZSJL to Netflix, that you get the job done. It's as simple as that. Get the job done. As Skywalker has said, complete the conquest, right? Army of Thieves on my channel tomorrow night.
I'm actually not opposed to that. Hit us up on
damn, I'll have to see if I can move some things around too, because I was gonna hang out with a friend tomorrow night. I might just have to tell Daniel, like, hey, you have to wait.
Bring Daniel over.
Bring Daniel to watch
it with you. Yeah.
There you go. Maybe so.
Yeah, no, shoot us a message.
That's a good idea, though. So, guys, potentially watch out for a good Austin show.
We want on everybody's
yes
content,
And obviously, guys, with it being a watch party, we're not going to show Army of the Dead on our channel. Like, one, that would only count for one viewership. We want everyone watching their Netflix account with us doing Army of the Dead, trending it, all the way through. It's gonna be fire, guys. Let's get Zack Snyder trending on Netflix. February 14th, we coming in hot. Let's raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. This is our moment. This is our time. There's no reason to engage with the people that are trying to be negative, that are trying to troll you. They're smoke, they're nothing. You don't have to worry about it. This is on you guys. This is your opportunity. We'll see what happens. Put the ball's in your court, and you're basically putting the ball in Netflix's court if you make it worth their time.
Taladia just messaged you that he's going to be doing one as well. Hit me up, Taladia.
Sweet.
Hit me up, buddy.
Nice.
Yep, good stuff. So, we got a lot of stuff coming. 2/14 is going to be a big day.
Big day.
2/14 is going to be a big day.
Absolutely, guys. So Saturday, February 11th, Army of the Dead watch party for Zack Snyder. Hashtag Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix. Hashtag Sell ZSJL to Netflix. Trending event in American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you guys set your reminders now. Join us. Get all of your friends. Tell your friends who have Netflix, hey, watch Army of the Dead with me. We'll be, watch it on our channel, with us. We want to hear from you guys as always. Corey, any final words before we end tonight's show and go check out El Necron's?
Man, I'm pumped, guys. I am absolutely pumped for Army of the Dead watch parties throughout the weekend. I'm pumped for everything that's coming this way. Gunn pumped me up even more. I'm excited, guys. This is a good time. Don't for 1 second feel sad. Don't for 1 second feel bad. Things are on its way. We got each other. We're going to keep pushing through, and we're going to keep making things happen. Keep tweeting.
Couldn't have said it better myself, my man.
Follow the ROEs.
Follow
Thank you, Skywalker.
Yep. Follow. Make sure you guys follow the ZSJL to Netflix account on Twitter, especially as we gear up for Tuesday, February 14th for the big training event. They're going to be really leading the way. Create videos if you want to, guys. Corey and I both created a video asking for Netflix to get the licensing rights to the Snyderverse. So do that. Find different ways. If you want to create a trailer of the Snyderverse on Netflix, do something like that. There's so many ways we can engage to get people excited, hyped, stay positive, follow the rules of engagement, and just do the right thing, right? Like, think of it. I always look at it this way. If your tweet doesn't make Zack Snyder proud when it comes to representing him with the hashtag Sell ZSJL to Netflix or Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix, then reconsider your tweet. Make him proud with it. Be positive, do the right thing, take care of each other. If you see someone getting picked on, there's no reason to engage with them. Just reach out to that person, ask them how they're doing. That's what this community is all about. Take care of each other. And you know what? Whatever happens on Tuesday, be proud. We did amazing things, right? We'll probably talk about it the very next day about what we accomplished. Obviously we're not going to get an answer the next day like, oh, Netflix put it down an offer. They're going to start looking at the numbers if we make it worth their while. So guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, it helps us out so much when you smash that like, you share this video, you subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. And if you're watching with the replay crew, my good old replay crew, comment in the video so that way let us know what you enjoyed of what we talked about, or maybe tell us what you think we could do to help the hashtag Sell SnyderVerse to Netflix movement, or maybe just some of the things you would like us to talk about for a future show, or some things you caught maybe in James Gunn's tweet. I'd love to hear from you guys. So my replay crew, make sure you guys comment, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And if you feel like following us on some of our social media pages, we're on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at _Bat Channel. Like I said, I have a AFSP charity going on right there on Instagram. So make sure you guys donate to help us reach our 214 goal. If we surpass it, even better. But obviously on Saturday, we're going to be doing the super chats that will also go to the Autumn Snyder Tribute Fund. And guys, I just can't tell you, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I am your host, Trey, with
Super Bro Corey.
And don't forget the Tone In Weekly.
Same bat time.
Same bat channel. See you guys over at El Necrons.
Head on over to El Necrons. You guys, thanks, everybody.
Spartans! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.